Welcome back to the Charismatic Voice. Today we're going to take a listen to one of the earliest recordings of one of your channel favorites, Angelina Jordan singing Fly Me to the Moon at age 8. Y'all have been recommending this for over a year, and I've been saving that first time listen the whole time. But the wait is finally over, so let's get to it.
Angelina Jordan.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me.
It's so amazing how this little tiny girl can sound like she has such an ancient soul. This is like classic jazz sound that's coming out of her. The way that she's molding the sound and the consonants is extraordinary to me. And she sounds like she's listened to tons of the classic greats, Billy, some Ella in there. I feel like we've been transported back 50 years. It's amazing. Okay, I want to go back to the beginning. Let's talk about some of these little tiny things that she's doing that are just so incredible and very, very precocious for an 8-year-old.
Fly me to the moon.
So right there, immediately she's getting her mouth more closed, moon, and she's sending a lot of that sound through her nose. You guys have heard me talk about this probably before when discussing grunge singers. It's also a way that you can inflect more nasality into country singing, into different styles. Already right here, without knowing probably what she's doing, she's just going for a sound and figuring out, like, how can I make that sound? The creativity of the young is great. So look at the mouth shape right away.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars.
It's almost got a Louis kind of feeling in it, actually, on Stars. She goes into that airiness with the vibrato. She's got a very well-developed vibrato for age 8. My goodness. My goodness. But it sounds almost like she's styling that vibrato like Louis Armstrong, which is fascinating.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars.
I like the really slight swing rhythms she has, Jupiter and on Mars. Just gives it a little tiny, it's almost like a very sophisticated stylization of that. Again, at age 8.
Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand.
And on words, she's closing to that R-colored vowel really, really early. I've heard this done by Ella Fitzgerald many, many times, and by Louis Armstrong too. And they're purposefully making this sound, which so many styles of singing say don't do, but they play with it instead. And they find this approximation in the mouth that's this R sound, an American R, very, very difficult for many people to replicate. I should mention, she's Norwegian too, and she's going for this R-colored sound and making it very, very successfully accurate to style. Shocking. Shocking.
Mars. In other words,
Whoa.
hold my hand. In other words, Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore.
I'm also very moved by how composed she is on the stage right now. The sound that she has, that fundamental tone quality, one of the reasons it sounds older and like more ancient, timeless really, is that she has a certain full-throatedness in her sound and in the approach. It's like she has more space back in this area than you would expect a child to have or have developed. She's found a way to make more space back there. Sometimes that's a little bit of manipulation at that age. It's, I don't think that this is a bad thing for her. Obviously, she's blossomed into an incredible performer today and has a very, very promising career with incredible vocal technique. So the exploration that I imagine she was going through at this stage included probably how to find that opening in the back of the throat and mouth to get that really more full, deep, warm sound.
Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore.
So I just noticed something else. Sorry. She's got so many little details that she's putting in. I wonder how conscious she was of making all of these choices. On sing, she goes through this NG. She goes sing, and she actually sings through the NG, which is a consonant. It's a nasal consonant, which means you can go and keep a sound going the whole time, which is pretty awesome. So let's go back just a little bit.
In other words,
I went back too far, sorry.
darling, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true.
Ooh,
In other
ooh. The way that she does true and holds out on the ooh without vibrato and then adds it at the very end, it's such great evidence of what beautiful vibrato control she has at this point. Very, very impressive. There are people that are, have sung for a large portion of their life that don't have vibrato. They don't even know how to get it to enter into their voice yet. And she's using it with tons of control at age 8. It's crazy. Whew.
In other
Words.
please be true. In other words, I love you.
Oh, nice. That was classy. A lot of times, if you're young, you'll end up going for the higher thing. And on I Love You, instead of doing a higher version, which is quite common to do, she goes for a lower one, again expanding that warmth and depth of sound down there.
I love you.
Wow.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words,
Now, it's really interesting. I see her sometimes singing out of the side of her mouth. I haven't seen that in her more recent videos. I wonder if this is something that she developed as she was playing with those different sounds and stylizations. It's pretty common for somebody to sing out the side of their mouth or kind of go one way or the other, or have a lip pull that is more pronounced on one side or the other. And often you just need to sing in a mirror to help correct that. Most people won't feel it. It would be more likely to happen if somebody was going for a particular sound or resonance inside, and they might start having a little pull to a side or the other. I've had this happen to me before too, where I'll find, oh my goodness, I'm leaning to one side a little more than the other, and then just use a mirror to correct it. I bet that that is something that she spent time working on later. It's not detrimental at this point by any means. It's just kind of cool to see how she might have developed later.
Let me see.
Oh, let's go back a little more. It was a little earlier that I was singing this mostly.
Fly me to the moon and let me play.
There you go. There's that whole side.
Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. And all the words on my hand. And all the words, darling, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore.
I'm going to go back to this section again. I'm going to go back about 3 or 4 phrases here because I want to point out something she's naturally doing so well that so many adults need to retrain themselves to do. This has to do with her breath, okay? She takes a breath and she uses it up right away. A lot of times adults get nervous about a phrase, or it could be younger too. It could be high school, middle school. Young kids tend to not become too aware of this until later on. She takes that breath and she goes, ah, and that sound comes up right after she's taken the breath. I like to call it sometimes catching the wave of air. So adults, we might take a breath and get nervous about what's coming next and go, and have a little hold there. That means that the glottis, or the opening essentially between your vocal folds, it closes. You get this breath pressure that builds up underneath it. And then in order to start the flow of air so that the vocal folds can vibrate, go wacka, 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 make a pitch, you essentially have to reopen that and re-engage the flow. If you start singing immediately once that air has filled up, essentially almost like a nice sigh, then the air that the glottis doesn't have a chance to close up, and the air just starts immediately moving, and it forces you to feel a little wild at first, but then you'll quickly realize that the voice is able to just ride this wave of air with so much more ease. So you can hear this and how she does this extremely well multiple times in here. Right there is great.
Oh, my hand. And all the words, darling, kiss me.
It's really good.
Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore.
I love that ornamentation.
You are all I long for, all I worship and adore.
Wow.
In other words, please be true. In other words,
Wow.
I love you.
Oh, I love the little slight break in the held note at the end. It's so endearing. I was really impressed in there that she got quite a bit of power in that ending where she did go up. All right, that's had that nice variation. I think that's a Frank Sinatra established variation. You know, I found out this song was actually composed, I think, by, I want to say Bart Howard in 1954. And it wasn't until the 60s that Frank Sinatra really made it a staple, and that was with some of the NASA space program and things like that. I always thought that it was actually written by Sinatra, and it was really fun to go back and get that little bit of information and say, whoa, this was written 10 years earlier here. I want to go back. So I think that this variation is the Sinatra one where he takes it up. She just is able to execute it with quite a bit of power for this age.
And adore. In other words, please be true.
It's good. And the way she carries a phrase through.
In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you.
Wow. Aww. She's so cute. Right? She's amazing.
What did you do?
She was amazing. I just love seeing such a young person be so incredibly creative and explorative. She's clearly taken tons of times to make weird noises and have fun and explore all of the expressions that can be made by the voice. It's delightful to hear her and see that already at age 8. And then think about how far she's come. Now she's a superstar already. She's releasing all kinds of amazing music. If you aren't familiar with Angelina Jordan, you should definitely check her out. And if you would like to hear more analysis of her, you can check that out over here in this playlist. I hope that you guys make more Angelina recommendations down below this video because I want to do some more Angelina Jordan on this channel. Thank you very much and see you soon.